What is going on, guys? Today we are looking at the CRKT Minimalist. Now, this looks a bit different from many of the CRKT Minimalists that you might have seen. This is the Smoky Mountain Knife Works exclusive in the tan micarta and in D2. So, when I first saw the CRKT Minimalist, I really loved the design, but I was not super stoked on the steel that they chose when it first came out. That was 5CR15 MOV. Then I saw that they were coming out with a few different styles in some better steels, and there were some exclusives. And this is a Smoky Mountain Knife Works exclusive in D2, and I believe Blade HQ has a D2 exclusive as well. So I went ahead and decided to pick one up. So before we get into specs and what I like and what I don't like and something unique, no neutral points on this video, let's do some size comparisons real quick. So let's compare it to another CRKT. The Mossback Hunter. Yes, I really like this knife. I had someone in my comments not that long ago who was talking about how he hated it, how it, he had busted some scales. The overall fit and finish wasn't great. Fit and finish on mine is really nice actually, and I've batoned this through some light wood, doing some kindling. As you can see, there's a good bit of wear on there. This has performed very, very nicely. So anyway, yeah, we got a 3-inch blade on there, so you can tell this is a little bit smaller. Let's look at a couple knives we'll have coming up for review. This knife I'm really, really stoked about. The Boker Quake. Yeah, that's a sweet knife. Look at that Kokobolo. You look at that all day long. Right? I just got this in the mail as well. Alright, and let's look at it in comparison to one more we'll have coming up for review. Kershaw Link, not Leak. That's right, you guys guessed it. 20CV. This is the more premium Kershaw Leak. Really stoked about this knife as well. Look at that. Really cool. Anodized aluminum. Really cool. So we got a 2.1 inch blade on the CRKT Minimalist. I believe it might vary a little bit depending on which style blade you go with. They have a few different options. Trailing point, cleaver point. This is a clip point. It's 0.11 inches thick. We'll give you a good solid second on that thickness right there. Overall is 5.13 inches. It is 1.6 ounces, super lightweight blade, and I think the sheath is only about 0.5 ounces, so like 2 ounce package really overall. This particular handle material is tan micarta. Most of them I've seen are in like a G10, very similar to this actually, so it's kind of got that bluish look to it, but this particular one is tan micarta. They have a few different options for steel, and like I said, the first one came out in 5CR, 15 MOV. There, I saw one, I think it was a trailing point design for an 8CR13, and this is in D2, and this is the Smoky Mountain Knife Works exclusive, and I think they have one, Blade HQ has an exclusive in D2 as well. That's like a desert tan or something. It's cool looking as well. So let's talk about what I like. Then we'll get into what I don't like and something unique. First of all, I like the design. Like I said, this design connected with me big time when it first came out. And now that they kind of have a version that I'm good with the steel choice, I was really stoked to pick this up. And so it really doesn't matter. I like all the blade styles, but I particularly gravitated to this clip point. I really like how lightweight this is. 2 ounces for the package with this sheath. You just can't beat that. Now this is only a 2.1 inch blade, but this is an EDC knife, and honestly this would actually be a pretty good skinning knife. Has a good bit of belly, this particular clip point model. So lightweight. I know a lot of hunters like to use that. Especially if you're preparing small games. So, but yeah, really lightweight, and I just enjoy when a knife is lightweight, but gives you a lot of capabilities. This is a fixed blade, not a folding knife, so you just have a vastly more capability with a fixed blade of this size than you would with a folder of this size. I also like the handle comfort. Now, you guys know I don't love finger grooves. In my last couple of videos, I haven't really particularly enjoyed those. I prefer a neutral handle, something like this. It's just contoured nicely. But this is kind of a different animal. This is meant to have those finger grooves. They're very clearly cut out. They're very clearly meant to have your hands placed there. And they fit nicely. And I doubt there'd be many people who wouldn't fit nicely into those finger grooves. So I like the handle. And I really, really like this sheath modularity. As you can see, it's not cut out for the specific model. This almost looks like a Tanto. Almost looks like a concave Tanto. That's interesting. But, it fits nicely. It locks in. I believe this is made of polypropylene. And it comes with both a lanyard loop I think it's paracord to wear it as a neck knife, or this belt loop, and you can wear the scout carry, and I have, and it's awesome. So that's, I mean, for a knife that, for this model, they're going for like, I think 25, 30 bucks. For the other models, you're looking for about the same price for all of them, between like 20 and 30 bucks. For the D2 you might pay 35, but it's worth it. To get that sheath modularity, I think that's awesome. I think that's a great deal, and I really, really enjoy what you can do with that sheath. I also like that you just have so many options with this knife. You have the different blade styles, the different steel styles, though I would strongly encourage you to pick up the D2 version, and the different handle materials. You can get that G10 or you can get this tan micarta. There's a couple other different options. I don't know the specifics on those, but I just like when a knife company sees that a knife is popular and they give us a bunch of options. I think that's really, really fun. The Kershaw Link is one of those. I think Kershaw saw that people liked that this was an American-made knife that was high quality, well made, and they have one in like an FRN. They have one in different colors of aluminum, numerous different colors. They have numerous different steel choices from different brands. So I think it's cool when a knife company does that and they recognize kind of what their base is buying and what they want. So I think that's cool. I also like the D2 on this. It seems to be treated like most D2, which is good. I've done a good bit of cutting with this. It's Christmas time, so a lot of boxes opening and stuff, and it's held its edge very, very well. Now, I like the D2 on this, but since we're talking all things CRKT Minimalist, we will get to something I don't like about the steel, but not this D2 steel. And I also like the way this micarta looks. I think it's just nice. Micarta will kind of, not patina, what's the word? It will kind of wear in over time, I guess you could say. So I think that's pretty cool. It might take a little bit of your sweat and a little bit of grime, and it kind of makes it unique. And the G10 looks nice as well. So let's talk about what I don't like. Well, you guys heard it up top. I loved this design, but when they first came out with it, it came out in 5CR15 MOV. It's not a steel I'm a fan of. I haven't had hardly any use with it. I'm not even sure if I've used a blade with 5CR15 MOV. And you might say, well, Matt, how do you know you don't like it? It might be. I can look at the composition, guys. All I have to do is look at what is in the blade, the amount of chromium, the amount of carbon, and see that I'm not going to appreciate what its edge holding capabilities or its rust resistance or anything like that. So now 5CR probably is relatively rust resistant, which is fine, but it's just not going to hold an edge well, not anywhere near D2. And I think they have one model in 8CR, which I would be okay with. It's one of those working steels like I talk about, like a SK5. So I would be okay with that, but 5CR is just going to dull way too quickly, and I don't want to spend all my time sharpening a knife, especially, this is a working knife, guys. This isn't pocket jewelry, this Boker Quake, and you can use this knife, but it's a pretty knife. It's meant to kind of be that pocket jewelry. When you pull it out, you just love the looks and the design of it. I like the design of this as well, but it's a working knife, and I want the steel to hold up longer. So 5CR it's not going to cut it for me personally. So I don't like that they have a ton of options in 5CR, but now that I have these D2 options, it is forgivable. So couple issues with the fit and finish on this one. I'm not sure if this is the same with everyone else's. I'm not sure if you guys can tell. Look at that tip. That airs slightly over to the left. I could probably bend that back with D2 and how thin that steel is, though. Might be a little careful on that because that could snap that tip. But I could bend that back. CRKT has a really, really good customer service. Everything I've heard from CRKT customer service is awesome. So, if anything happened to this, I think they would probably take care of you. Also, you can tell, that handle isn't quite ground correctly. It's a little bit offset from that tang. It's not quite right, but overall, the fit and finish isn't bad. It's fine. It's acceptable for a knife that I paid $25 for. And you can also see that edge doesn't go all the way down right there. So, but it's not terrible. So fit and finish is just, I'm going to say there's some stuff to dislike about the fit and finish on this, even though overall it's not terrible. It's okay. We'll give it an okay rating. There we go. That's really about it that I don't like about this knife. I think this is a really, really cool design. There's a lot that I like about it, much more than I dislike about it. So what I think is unique about this knife is that there are so many different design options, and we talked about this a minute ago. There are so many different design options. Because this is a popular knife, so many different people have bought this knife. I think because it's inexpensive and it's well designed, even though the first steel they came out with was just not great in my opinion. But I love the idea that you can say, I want a minimalist. Well, which one do I want? Because I have like 50 different options. And that's just cool. When a knife company does that, when they recognize, hey, you guys like this knife. Okay, let's give you some more options. Let's give you micarta. Let's give you a different style of G10. Let's get you, they have certain blades that are like laser etched with different styles. Let's give you all these things. And so I really appreciate it when a knife manufacturer does that. And I think that's what's unique is you can pick up a CRKT Minimalist. You can pick up 5 different ones and they all look completely different. You can pick up 10 different CRKTs, the minimalists, and they're all going to be different and unique. And I think that's unique in and of itself. So would I recommend it? Absolutely. I think this is a really cool blade. I can't say I recommend the 5CR. If you love the design of the 5CR and you hardly use your knife, go for it. It's up to you if you just really, really like that. But I'd recommend you pick up one in either HCR or especially D2, especially because you're not paying much more. And it's just going to be, I think, a great knife, great usable knife, and a great working knife. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you on the CRKT Minimalist. Let me know what you think of them in the comments. Let me know what you want to see reviewed here next on the table. I really appreciate you guys watching. Hope you guys have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we will see you in the next video. Peace.